going on, MMA fans? I'm back to do my MMA Roundup number 2 video. I'm going to be running over the submission of the month, fight of the month, and knockout of the month for the month of June. I'm going to start off with my submission of the month. Definitely has got to be Shinya Aoki over Katsuhiko Nagata. A top Mount Gogo plot. I mean, when do you see that happen? I mean, this will be a submission talked about for a long time, for for many months to come, for many years to come. It's definitely a submission. The first time we've seen a submission like this pulled off in a live MMA event, and who better to do it than Shinya Aoki? I mean, one of the best grapplers in the world, and he just continues to prove to people that that's exactly what he is. He's a top tier grappler, and he is just nasty. And this submission was absolutely nasty. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Honorable mention, because we had 2 great submissions this month. Also going out to Dustin Hazlett over Josh Burkman with the flying shoulder lock. Wizarding his way up there, bucking his hips, throwing his legs up behind Burkman, rolling him over, and then getting into like a shoulder lock armbar position, and then throwing the shoulder lock, twisting Burkman's arm to the side and submitting Burkman. Absolutely beautiful display of jiu-jitsu, but I think Aoki's submission just edged out Hazlett's submission, and I got to give Aoki the submission of the month. But honorable mention, got to give it out to Dustin Hazlett as well. Great submission. Fight of the month has got to go to Hideo Takoro and the Darren Unayama fight. These guys went back and forth. Absolutely great fight. At points in this fight, both guys were rocked. Great groundwork, great grappling, jockeying for position, submission attempts all over the place. The pace was high for the first 2 rounds. The third round slowed down a lot. Takora has had problems in the past with gassing, and Unayama has had some issues as well in the past with gassing too. But both these guys they gave it their all, and this fight definitely got fight of the month personally for me. Also, honorable mentions you could give Faber Pulver, which, that's definitely one of the best 5-round fights of this time period and probably of all time. Solid fight back and forth. And then you could also give an honorable mention to the Maeda Torres fight on the same card for the WEC 34 card that happened on June 1st. That fight went back and forth, and eventually Torres winning the fight. But both those fights were high-paced and solid fights. They went back and forth, but definitely Takoro Unayama fight was definitely fight of the month for me. Next fight that I'm going to talk about for knockout of the month was Melvin Manhoff over Kazushi Sakuraba. Wow. Great right high kick that drops Sakuraba, starts pounding on Sakuraba, can't get inside of his guard, so he grabs him by the ankle, yanks him back, and pounds him out. Manhoff just absolutely, he was patient, and then bam, just struck, knocked down Sakuraba, and finished him in pretty clear fashion. Definitely deserves knockout of the month, in my opinion. Absolutely vicious leg kick, and then finishing it off on the ground the way that he did. Wow. Honorable mention goes out to Thiago Alves's flying knee on Matt Hughes. That was pretty sick, and then going over and just pounding out Hughes on the ground. Wow. Alves proving a lot of people wrong. The only thing that really was rough for Alves, and like I mentioned in the videos previous about Alves, is you got to make weight. It's a disrespect to who you're fighting. It's a disrespect to the sport that you can't make weight. And yeah, I mean the fight was put on short notice, but still Alves had was training. He was working. He just like any other guy that is a mixed martial artist. You're training even when you don't have a scheduled fight. And he had plenty of time to be ready for any fight should it come up that if he was asked did he want to take a fight. Alves was training and had been training, and of course it came out later that he did have an injury, I do believe, but nonetheless you got to make weight. You got to make weight. So only knock on Alves in that fight, but otherwise nice vicious TKO knockout, absolutely devastating. So Leave me some comments, constructive, negative, positive. Let me know what you think. Of course, comment. Put down what you think your submission of the month, your fight of the month, and your knockout of the month was. And to the YouTube MMA commentators, as always, like I say, feel free to do vid responses. Get your opinion out there of what you thought the submission of the month, fight of the month, and knockout of the month was as well. So, on that note, you guys have a great day, and I will be back in July, at the end of July, to do my MMA Roundup number 3 video. So, on that note, you guys have a great one.